How to play dumb so that you can keep your peace. Let's get started. So I read the 48 Laws of Power, and before y'all come for me, people try to say that this book is on how to manipulate other people, but I completely disagree. I read this book because I was tired of other people manipulating me. I've been in situations where people would treat me really bad and I didn't know why. So a lot of times I would meet people, I would talk to them, and then something would happen where they were taking advantage of me, and it was a very exhausting experience to go through over and over and over again. So I read the 48 Laws of Power not to manipulate other people, but to catch manipulation. One of the rules in the 48 Laws of Power is play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than you think. And the reason why I recommend this law is because when I decided that I was not going to perform for other people, in a sense, you don't need to convince other people that you are what you are. You don't have to convince people that you know everything, that you have everything. So when I say play dumb, right? In social situations, I mean if someone is disrespecting you in a social situation, playing dumb will force them to do two things. One, they'll be forced to repeat themselves if they're being disrespectful, so that other people will know that they're being disrespectful and nasty. Or two, they will leave you alone because they don't want other people to perceive them as mean people. It's hard to explain, but it's a very passive-aggressive, sneaky way of doing it. So they do it very carefully. I'll give you an example, like, ew, why are you eating that for? You're too old for that. When I was younger, I would defend myself because that's what they wanted. They wanted me to be angry, they wanted me to defend myself. But like, I would flip the script and I'll be like, oh, what do you mean? This is great, this is the best drink ever. And then they're forced to continue acting out so that other people around them will see them as the person that they truly are, like a nasty person. Or they have to back out and be like, okay, if you say so, and then they have to walk away. And then the point is, though, I'm not saying that if someone is straight up bullying you or treating you bad to ignore it. I'm saying act completely oblivious to it, and then they will be so angry that they couldn't get under your skin. So when I talk about this law, if someone assumes that you don't know something, right? Why perform for them to prove that you are good at something? So I'll use my English degree as an example. When I was in college, I was an English major, and every time I went to my classes, people assumed that I couldn't write just because of the color of my skin. There was a big issue with the U of M where people thought all POC that came to our school came because of affirmative action. So when I was in my classes, there were always these kids that would look at each other and give each other advice, and whether they knew it or not, they would exclude me from those type of conversations. And there was one class, it was British literature, I'll never forget it. Our professor said that we did terrible in our essays. It was the worst essays he's ever had, and he gave us a chance to resubmit it. So we had another week to like rewrite our essays. But the funny thing is, I didn't know what was so bad about our essays because I had a B the first time. But he said the average grade was a C and D. So I went to the writing center and I asked for help and I rewrote my essay. And then when we resubmitted it, the professor still was upset because people still ended up with C's, and the best grade they got was a B minus. When our professor was handing out our essays, he handed everybody's essays face down because he didn't want everyone to feel bad. But then I flipped up my essay and I had an A. And there was a kid who got his essay right, and he was looking at his essay shook because I looked down at his essay, he had a C and I was the one with the A. And he was a white man. So I'm trying to really put things in a perspective for you. This kid, he genuinely could not, from the look of his face, he was so upset that I ended up getting the A and he was the one with the C. It was more of a mixture of how could you and like admiration, you know what I mean? It's hard to explain if you're not a POC, like how fun it is to prove people wrong, but this kid was shook. And the thing is, like, I just kind of like gave him a smile, grabbed my essay and walked away. So in these type of situations, right, proving yourself, like, I don't know, using big SAT words throughout your entire semester, why do you feel like, as especially if you're a POC, why do you feel like you specifically have to convince other people that you are smart or you belong into a place? If you play dumb, it's like you're taking back your energy, your peace, and your power, because no matter how much big words you use in class, no matter how much you participate in class, you're not going to convince anybody that already does not like you, does not respect you, that does not want you there. You can't really force other people to accept you for who you are. You just have to be okay with who you are. For example, Jackie Chan. Like in Rush Hour, he was an amazing detective. He knew everything. And then Chris Tucker walks in and he's like, you don't speak English. You're stupid. Like he treats him so bad. But then Jackie Chan, instead of getting offended, he was like, oh, well, who are you? Like, I don't need to prove myself to anyone. And he literally used Chris Tucker's ignorance of him not knowing English to his advantage to escape. So there's a lot of situations where like playing dumb and not matching energy. So don't match people. If you're here and someone is disrespecting you and going down here, don't drop to their level. I've seen a lot of TikToks about it, like, oh, I like to match energy, but honestly, just walking away and treating them like they don't even exist hurts them so much more, and then they feel worse than they already did. The last thing I'm going to talk about is Uncle Iroh. So I like to use Uncle Iroh as a great example of someone that never matches energy, and he's very secure in who he is. So Uncle Iroh is a character in Avatar: The Last Airbender. I know it's fiction, but hear me out. Whenever Prince Zuko comes walking in, and here's the thing, this is an unpopular opinion, but I hated Prince Zuko's guts, man. I was team Uncle Iroh. I love that guy, and I was so upset whenever Prince Zuko came with his nasty attitude, his inner emo self coming in yelling at his uncle. I'm like, disrespectful. And I was literally a little kid, 2005, watching the show, wanting to beat him up. I was like, man, this kid needs to sit down. And it was like every time Prince Zuko came in yelling at his uncle saying, you're stupid and you're lazy, I was already angry. I was ready to fight. But then he would turn it around and be like, but first, let me finish my stew. And then he would just keep eating. And then Prince Zuko had no choice but to storm off. So like Uncle Iroh in this situation was playing dumb. He was like, I'm not gonna let you take away my peace. But he was doing it in a way where he acted like he couldn't hear Prince Zuko's anger, or like he couldn't hear his disrespect. He was just like, let me let it go so I can keep enjoying what I was doing in the moment. Ever since I've been able to play dumb in situations, like if someone's treating me bad and I'm at an event, all of a sudden if I'm talking to a friend of mine at an event, that person starts to do a complete 360, and then they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, hi, and they try to reintroduce themselves and take away the attitude, and I'm just like, interesting. And another thing is, when you play dumb and you don't try to prove to other people that you are an important person, and I'm not saying I'm important at all, but when you don't try to prove yourself in social situations, you're going to catch a lot of people who rank you and other people based on how many followers you have, how many people you know. So I've noticed that when I kind of walk in and a lot of people don't know who I am, I meet some, not all, some people that will go above and beyond to treat me like trash, and then they turn around and feel really guilty. Unfortunately, a lot of people are not genuinely like kind people on the inside. They will go above and beyond to treat other people really, really bad if they think they can get away with it, and they think that you don't know anybody and they think no one will believe you. They will use you as their target, like their victim, because like they probably saw you happy, or they saw you just minding your business and there was nothing wrong. You were just having a great day, and they wanted to bring you down. For example, like if someone's spreading rumors about you and lying on your name and you don't care, like you genuinely don't care, because you know that no matter what you do, these people will never change the way they see you. When you accept that you can't change other people's perceptions of you, and you kind of like play dumb, like you have no idea what other people are talking about, your existence is going to prove them wrong. Your existence is going to be a direct contradiction to what they're talking about. If someone's calling you fake, I don't know, two-faced, lazy, all these things, and another person sees you for the first time and they see that your existence proves them wrong, it's going to make that group of people look hateful, bitter, nasty, mean. By just existing, you're making them look bad. So yeah, I really hope this video helps you guys. I refilmed it because I didn't like the way it turned out the first time. But yeah, that's all I have to say in this video. I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.
You were gone.